What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you clicked on this video, then you know we're talking Grownish Season 3, Episode 6, titled Real Life Shit. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel if you don't already. So, let's get right into it. If you're interested in knowing what I thought about this episode, please continue to watch. So the title of this episode is Real Life Shit, and I think that's very fitting because this episode is dealing about things that people deal with in real life, and that is graduating from college and trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do. I have been there. I graduated from college about 3 years ago, and I still feel like I'm trying to figure out my life. I feel like a lot of my friends are still trying to figure things out, and we definitely are all dealing with the struggle of having to pay off those student loans, and it just feels like we're in a pit of student loans and that is never going to go away. One thing that I didn't realize until this episode is that jobs really do be having like loan repayment plans. Obviously, I'm working for the wrong company and I need to get to a company that has that. I think Aaron started off on the right foot looking for jobs that have that option. I didn't even know that was an option. That's nothing that ever crossed my mind when thinking about paying off student loans or what type of jobs to be looking for. So now I know whenever I go into a new job, I need to be trying to figure out if that's what they have, because I didn't even realize that jobs did that, and that could be very beneficial, and I probably could have already paid off my student loans by now. So thank you, Grownish, for letting me know that those type of things do exist. This episode starts off, Aaron's at the college fair. He's trying to find a job because he's feeling the pressure of having to pay off those student loans, and I think any college student understands that pressure because, you know, you're not going to be in college anymore. That safety net of being in that atmosphere is going away, and you kind of have to figure out what's going to happen next. Are you going to intern or are you going to work in a job? So I think every college student has been in that same situation, not just their senior year, but throughout college in general. I remember tons of college fairs going and just stopping at every table thinking, please hire me, please hire me. As his cheerleader Doug cheering him on, telling him, you know, you're smart, you have a good resume, you do tons of volunteer work. I just love Doug. He's just like the best friend to have. He encourages you to do your schoolwork. He's your cheerleader at the college fair. He's a good boyfriend. He's just, I just love Doug. I said that in previous episodes, but Doug really is my favorite, and I love how he encouraged Aaron going into the college fair. Well, it's funny, in his conversation with Doug, he was like, oh, I'm gonna find a job and they're gonna have a six-figure salary, and they're gonna have a loan repayment option for me, and I'm gonna get a Maxima. And I was thinking, dude, where are you gonna find all that at? Because that definitely wasn't my experience with coming out of college, and I don't know a lot of friends who have that experience. Maybe people coming out of school being engineers or something, but nah, bro, the six figures in the Maxima, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a few years for that one. So Zoe's dad's company, Stevens and Leto, and I guess Charlie's company too, even though somehow he's a dean at a school, was at the college fair, and Aaron goes up and talks to them. Seems like it's a really good conversation, but he doesn't ultimately get an interview. So being that he knows, you know, Zoe's dad works there, he goes to Zoe and he's like, can you ask your dad to help me get an interview there? And she's like, yeah, no problem, I got you. And I'm like, oh, she's being a good friend to Aaron, but then she like gives him a suit and they have a moment where they stare into each other's eyes, and I was like, Grownish, no, this is not what this episode is supposed to be about, and we are not going back down this Aaron and Zoe hole. Y'all better put them googly eyes right back in your head because we're not doing this again. But they had their little moment. Aaron just shows up to Stevens and Leto off of the word that Zoe is gonna, you know, help get him an interview. She never said, oh, I talked to my dad and he said it's okay. Nobody at Stevens and Leto ever reached out to him like, hey, let's set up your interview. He just shows up at the place not knowing if he has an interview or not, just going off of the word of Zoe saying, hey, I'll get an interview for you. Like, yeah, you're trusting your friend and you're, you know, trusting that she's going to talk to her dad, but that's literally not how it works. You don't just walk in and be like, oh, I have an interview now because Zoe said she could get me one. Like, he didn't even know if, you know, her talking to him worked. He didn't know any of that stuff. So he gets there and he ultimately doesn't have an interview, and it's because Zoe actually never did reach out to her dad. We don't really know why. It seems like she sort of just forgot. But regardless, to me, I was like, why would you just show up to the place and not even have any idea if you're going to have an interview? But whatever. He ends up getting to talk to Zoe's dad anyway, and Zoe's dad tells him, you know, it's nothing I can do for you. I've already filled the position, which I was actually shocked by. I would think he would actually want to give Aaron a chance, being that he knows Aaron, but that's not what ended up happening. So he didn't end up getting an interview or end up getting the job, and he gets really mad at Zoe. And I get being mad that she forgot, like, you know, she said she would do it and she didn't. That sucks. But I kind of felt like his reaction to her, in my opinion, which is a little bit over the top. Like I said, I'd be frustrated and irritated that you didn't ask, but like, I feel like everybody really put a lot on her to be like, oh, you're the reason he didn't get this job. You know, things are hard out here for him and you made it harder for him. I didn't think that was fair, because she never told him that he got the interview, and, you know, all she could do was ask. It's not like her going to her dad automatically meant that he was going to kill the interview and get the job. So to put that kind of pressure on Zoe and that type of guilt on Zoe, like, you're the reason I didn't get this job. Yeah, I guess she didn't do what she said she was going to do, but I didn't think it was fair to put all that blame and guilt on her. Like, oh, you're the reason he wasn't able to get a job. Because you don't even know, even if she did call, if he wanted to hire you. You couldn't get an interview on your own by just meeting with them at the career fair. So I get being irritated with Zoe, but I kind of felt like him being angry at her was a little over the top. So as I was watching him react to her and kind of go off on her, I was like, okay, this cannot solely be about just a job, because I feel like this is super duper dramatic. And so he says a comment. He was like, you know, I always am there for you. I'm there for you to give you advice. I'm there for you to do this, and I'm there for you, you know, to kiss you, to help you get over your ex. So that made me feel like Aaron is actually upset because he has feelings for Zoe, but he feels like she used those feelings as just a way to get over her ex. So I think the real issue is actually that he still, you know, likes her. And then automatically, once again, I was like, ugh, because that means that the whole Zoe and Aaron thing isn't over, because obviously he has some sort of feelings there, and, you know, now he has the anger of her not helping him and the frustration of wanting to be with her and her not reciprocating. So, you know, they're in a really weird place now. I felt like it was a little bit over the top and dramatic, but I think that it's just going to lead to more discussion about their relationship and why they haven't gone to a certain place in their relationship. Not here for that, honestly, but I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. I can't see him being mad at her forever. I just don't think it's that deep. And then ultimately, you know, Zoe's dad ended up actually helping Aaron, because he called Charlie and was like, hey, I know you need an assistant. Why don't you hire Aaron? And he ended up hiring Aaron. It's not a six-figure job like he wanted. You know, it doesn't have any type of loan forgiveness, and it only pays minimum wage. But now he's able to go to get a master's for free. So that's beneficial. You know, then he can put off paying those student loans for a little bit longer, and he can get a free master's depending on what he's trying to do. That can probably help him get a better job when he finishes that. So ultimately ended up working out for him in the long run. Yes, Steven Alito probably would have been a better situation, but it ended up working out anyway. So I hope that means he's not going to continue to hold this grudge over Zoe, at least not for this. Like I said, he's mad at her about other things, his feelings, all of that stuff. But as far as this situation, I hope they can just let it go, because me personally, I don't think it's that deep. What I really like, though, is that there was a conversation about how, you know, how difficult it is being a black person, not just entering into college, but entering into the workforce. How, you know, we're not only targeted by banks because they know we can't afford college on our own, so they, you know, use us to take out more loans and ultimately end up costing us more money in the long run. And also how it's much harder for us to get jobs as people of color. All things we already knew already. Duh, it's hard out here being a black person. But, you know, it's good that these conversations are being had on a show like Grownish, where not only people of color watch it, because they may not know those struggles we face, and maybe been seeing those struggles they can be part of the change that fixes it. So I thought that was a really good, topic to cover on a show like Grownish, a show that is about college, because it's something that every college student goes through. And I think people will really be able to resonate from it and get inspiration from it. And I think you really can't have a college show without talking about this. So good job, Grownish. I thought they did a really good job on this episode. So we finally got more of Jillian this episode. We haven't really gotten much from her. She wasn't even in the last episode, which was disappointing. But now she's back, and it was without Luca. Hallelujah. Zoey ends up going back into the class that she has with her, and she ends up having to sit next to her. But Jillian apologizes to her about what happened with Luca. And honestly, I didn't really understand what she was apologizing for. Like, one, y'all weren't friends when you hooked up with Luca. You didn't even know that was her man. They're broken up regardless. I didn't really understand why she needed to apologize. Felt like there wasn't any type of scenario in this situation that made it so where she would have to apologize to Zoey. But I guess that was just her way of kind of showing, like, look, I don't have the issue with you. I don't want you to have the issue with me. Let's just, see if we can at least be cordial. And she suggests going to drinks. And I was thinking in my head, I don't need to go to drinks with you. If I was Zoey, I'd be like, I don't need to go to drinks with you. Like, yeah, we're classmates. You're cool. But at the end of the day, you're still messing with my ex. An ex who I just messed with. And I don't really think we need to have drinks or be friends. But then when Zoey has her situation with Aaron, she's walking off very upset. She actually runs into Jillian, and Jillian's like, if you want to talk, I'm here. And once again, if I was Zoey, I'd be like, I don't need to talk to you, and I would have went and talked to my real friends. But she actually takes her up on that offer to go get drinks. And we don't really see them have the drinks. We just see them at the end of the episode being hungover on campus and trying to figure out what they're going to eat. I was actually kind of disappointed. I wanted to see their conversation. I wanted to see how they kind of moved past the whole Luca thing. Like, if they were both going to kind of explain their side in it and maybe come to the realization they were messing with the same guy at the same time and automatically turn on Luca and be besties. But maybe they're just going to let bygones be bygones and not talk about it at all. But I was expecting there to be some sort of real deal sit down and conversation with Zoey and Jillian. So I think I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get that. But I do like sort of that they're becoming friends, because I didn't want Jillian's story to only be about Luca. I would rather her be in the friend group. My friend actually said, now that Nomi's gone, maybe she'll take the place in the friend group. I think that could work. It is possible. I don't know if I could be friends like that with somebody who, we were messing with the same guy at the same time. But if both are honestly over Luca, then I guess why not? So maybe that will end up being her storyline. She'll be the new friend in the group, and they'll just get over the whole Luca thing. So I'm excited to see, what they're going to do regarding that situation. So on the last episode, we left off kind of not knowing what's going to end up with Sky and Junior, her Junior lookalike boyfriend. I thought it was going to come out that he was actually adopted and that he is black, because let's be real here. The actor who is playing this guy has to be black or something of color. There's no way this man is only white. Like, there's just absolutely no way. But that ended up being the situation. He actually is a white guy. And, she makes it clear in the episode, I don't really know if I can date you or feel comfortable dating you because I don't want to date a white guy. And he was like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. And then her, after seeing, her sister and Doug, who are so cute. I just love them. Who are so cute. She's like, oh, I miss my man. So she's like, it was hard for me to be, wanting to date somebody who doesn't understand my culture, who's not in my culture. I want to be able to connect in that way. But at the same time, I really, really like you, so I'm willing to look past it. But like I said, I just can't believe this storyline, because there's no way that guy, the actor, is not black. Like, I feel like if they were gonna make that be the storyline, then they should have got somebody who's actually a white guy, because he looks black. And I guess that's why she ended up dating him, because he did look black. But what white guy do we know looks that black like that? Like, I just don't know if I can really buy the storyline, because I know deep down in my heart of hearts that man has got to be black. Like, you can literally look at his hair there's no way that this man isn't something of color. I'm sorry. So I'm not buying this storyline, Freeform. I really don't even get the point of this storyline. I was really glad that Sky has a boo because she's been one of the only people besides Vivek who hasn't had one on the show. But I don't really understand the point of this storyline. And if they had to make this a storyline, why couldn't they just get an actual white guy? Because there's no way that this actor isn't white. And I'm putting my foot down on that. Regardless, they're very cute. You know, he ain't Junior, even though he looks like Junior. He's not Junior. But they're very cute, and I guess this is going to be a lesson on, you know, how to be in an interracial relationship. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but they're cute for now, and we'll just have to see where it goes, I guess. That pretty much wraps up this episode. I think this has been a really good season. I think out of all the seasons we've had, this has been my favorite. You know, they still have had the relationship drama in there, but it hasn't been the sole storyline of every single episode. So I love that we're actually getting more variety in what's going on. Plus, I think they're doing a lot better of, you know, weaving in actual struggles that college students go through. Let me know what you think of the episode. Comment, let me know what you thought of my thoughts. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know what you think is going to happen next. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye.